All right, welcome to a very special holiday classic of the month. This is TWHL Tower 2, released actually exactly 1 year and 1 month ago. This was a collaborative pack with, I think, 18 mappers, 16 or 18 mappers, I can't remember, participating. Run through the TWHL forums. That's the whole Half-Life TWHL.info. Forums where a bunch of regulars signed up to make, basically you each make a floor of the tower, and then it's all stitched together into one mod. This is of course a sequel to TWHL Tower, which was I think about 5 years before that. That was about 2015, 2016 that came out. So same premise. Let's get started here. Each mapper had a very limited floor plan in which they could build their map, and you could otherwise do any style you wanted. So basically, as long as you fit within that floor plan, which was 1,024 units by 1,024 units, which if you're not a mapper, that might not make much sense. But it's roughly, I don't know, 85 feet on a side square, 20 meters, something like that, 25 meters. So not a very big area to make a Half-Life map in.
Oh, thank God, someone finally heard my... Oh, it's you. Hello. Anyway, look, the bull squids hit the fan again. Now, you proved you could handle yourself last time, but forgive me if I don't break out the scotch and coffee just yet. You need to get down to the ground floor and shut off the security lockdown, alright? Then we can get out of here. I guess on your way down, see if anyone else has survived too, I suppose.
So, it's really the same NPC from Tower 1, which we climbed the tower. This time we obviously parachuted onto the roof and are descending. This is a warm welcome, by the way. This is the roof made by Strider, who was the leader, essentially, of TWHL Tower 2. And in full disclosure, it took a lot of work to stitch all these maps together in the end and make this releasable mod. And I ended up being one of the main people to kind of help make that happen. So I don't mean to toot my own horn by streaming this mod. It was voted for overwhelmingly this month. But where I can, I'm going to try to point out a little behind the scenes info, because I didn't do a lot of work on most of these maps, but I did a little tweaking and integration, making everything work together and making it smooth after play tests. So the one main thing I like about this map is that it immediately avoided the temptation to just use airborne enemies like controllers in the very first map. It's certainly more of a exploration puzzle map. And he's added little sprites to the turrets up there to make them stand out, which is a nice touch. Obviously, these lasers trip the turrets immediately. And so I don't think it's an instant fail. Strider's map in Tower 1 was a little bit similar. You had to avoid laser detectors and cameras, or you were shot by turrets. And the only thing I didn't like about that was it was more or less an instant fail state. If you tripped the lasers, you really had no choice except to reload your game. Here, I think you actually, if you trip that one, I think you have a chance of running over here and surviving. But let's not chance it. Absolutely love his TWHL, logo. It's fantastic. I use it in all my screenshots,
What, are you mad? Have you actually lost your pissing mind? I'm not letting anyone in here. Go and deactivate the security lockdown and then we can talk.
Yeah, of course, voiced by Irby, maker of the core and one floor in TWHL Tower 2.
Are you still here? What What are you waiting for?
We gave him a couple lines to record. I think he went above and beyond the voice acting here.
Hello? Can we maybe get things moving? Go and do the thing with the lockdown?
I think there's one more, too, actually.
Did I use too many big words? You go downstairs all the way, find security lockdown, turn off. Okay?
Thank you. So if you weren't listening, he spells it out. Obviously, there's nowhere else to go but down from here. I mean, it's it's a linear pack in the end. You go from map to map, down the tower. And the one thing I find funny about this is, right, so we reset the health and armor and ammo. We remove all your weapons on each floor change as you go down. So all these batteries that we're collecting really don't do us much good in the end. It lets you maybe have a chance of recovery from if you do trip the turrets and get shot, but... Oh, that's right. Spirit removed the speed crowbar. Sad. Yeah, I still don't know what that is. I know that Strider's like, logo and profile picture, but I don't know what that is. So this is maybe one thing, I don't know. I'm of a split mind on this. So you see this Half-Life disc here, right? This is a, semi-secret, or certainly a collectible we added to each floor, or the mappers added to each floor. We didn't add it. And if you collect them all, there's you get some bonuses at the end and the final map. But we didn't make it clear that was collectible from the beginning. Now, like I said, I'm kind of of a split mind. One side of me says we should have made that, at least the first one, more obvious. Force the player to get it on the first floor on the roof, and then they would know to look for it as they go floor by floor all the way down. Now we, on the other hand, the old school gamer in me says hiding it, adds replayability and makes, kind of encourages the player to explore a little bit more. You don't just want to, signpost, hey, look, secret. So I'm not, I'm not entirely happy with how we did it, because if you missed that one, you could have. If you just made this left turn here, you never went in there. You never would have seen the CD and gotten the text saying, you wonder about more of them as you go down. So anyway, that's the first floor. That was a warm welcome by Strider. This is the field that strips our weapons and resets our ammo and health.
Warning, alien life forms detected. Security lockout activated.
So the each mapper was given, the basic floor plan, which included the the kind of the hallways as standard. We can modify this a little bit. It still had to be, the stairway and some kind of block in the hallway, so you couldn't just run through and kind of avoid the main point of the map, the floor. But other than that, you were kind of free to customize it. So I'll mention this. Jamaican Dave is a longtime source mapper. I think this or his other map in this tower was, I think, his first gold source map. And this is a great way, a project like this, a collaboration with other mappers where you kind of bite off a really small project to chew on and polish, is a great way to get started in Half-Life modding. So yeah, this is Pest Control by Jamaican Dave. May have gone a little far on the flashing lights, but we'll be past that soon. And cheap head crab, but hey, that's alright. So pretty standard, you know, Half-Life, like, office complex style map. Interesting, the door, I forget the doors require use, and I think that's, I don't know if that's the source, you know, coming from a source background, or like an old school map, you know, approach. Yeah, right, next tower we'll have to run all the way up and then run all the way down. And each floor will change on the way down. How about that? Ah! How did you not die? Ouchies. It was the same zombie, wasn't it? Double barrel didn't get him. So this one's a little subtle. He locked, you know, Jamaican Dave locked a couple of doors here, so you can't just run around the tower freely yet. You have to kind of figure out the way to get behind those doors to unlock them. So this is the way up. It's a little hidden, not too bad.
Area clear. Security lockout deactivated.
So, wait, I forgot the CD, didn't I? Yes, I did. So, again, full disclosure, I don't have to search for these CDs. I know where these are. In testing this and polishing this for release, I probably played through this mod 24 times, I'm guessing. I'm pretty familiar with it, yeah. So it's been a year. I haven't touched it since it released. So, you know, I may be a little rusty, but I know my way around these maps. This is by Dolmo, another longtime source mapper. Entered a number of Run, Think, Shoot, Live, Ville challenges, you know, the mapping challenges. And made Cosmonaut, which I streamed for Classic of the Month, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, I think. I don't know if this was his first gold source map, but I think it's his first released one. So this is clever. This does look like you can just run through, and not quite is the answer.
Well, now it would not be right to allow you to proceed without first demonstrating your limitless potential. Step inside and the experiment will commence.
So, you know, passable voice acting by the G-Man. That is certainly not Dolmo talking. He has quite a heavy Scottish accent, I'm going to say. I'm sorry. It's hard for Americans to tell Scottish from Irish. And he's got a YouTube channel with a lot of source map reviews over the years.
If you wish to continue your descent down this tower of impossibilities, you must show that you are capable of dealing with certain obstacles that may prove to be too much for a lesser being such as yourself. Shut down the portal and you will be rewarded with freedom to a certain degree. Hurry on now, the experiment begins.
Yeah, so this map, you know, I think certainly gets the prize for the best use of space available. Let me get back to it in a minute here. I love when they kill each other. All right, now we've got a second to ourselves here. So as I was saying, we've got you know, a very limited floor plan for this mod. It was you know, 1024 by 1024 in hammer units, which is not very big, and we had a little higher allowable, you know, space to make the map in than we did in Tower 1. Tower 1, I think, was only 160 units, which is probably something like here, like that level, roughly, I'm guessing. This was a bit more, so you can actually fit 2 floors, even though they're very short floors. If you design your map right, you could actually fit 2 floors, and Dolmo did that for most of this map, which you'll see. That's what I mean by kind of best use of space among these maps. He packed a lot in this very limited floor plan here. Yeah, Dolmo made Cosmonaut, Adam, which I played, yeah, 4 or 5 months ago. With the one where you launch the shuttle at the end, basically. Not to spoil too much, but... And I don't think it's been very active lately, but Dolmo is, you know, got a pretty big YouTube channel under Dolmo the Douglas, if I recall. Like I said, kind of reviewing and commenting on, I think mostly source map packs and mods over the years. There's a portal we got to shut. Yeah, and G-Man is just, you know, in classic fashion, just looking at us all the time from the window that we can't reach, of course. So. Hey, look. Dr. D-Unk. The classic joke. Submit status report. If you haven't played Tower 1, you should probably go do it.
Status report denied.
Have you remembered to submit your status report today? So, you know, most of this stuff, I'm not sure about the carpet actually, but most of this stuff is standard Half-Life assets. So, really good use of, you know, the standard set of stuff available to mappers from the game, the original game. Whereas in my maps, I tend to go mostly custom textures these days. While I appreciate, you know, the classic assets in Half-Life, I'm really a little tired of them visually for my own maps, so I tend to go with custom-made stuff. Not stuff that I made necessarily, but just custom stuff. Another good use of space here in that you get a whole view of this portal that the G-Man mentioned in the opening speech, one of the opening speeches there. My main problem with this map is the length of the G-Man, not really cutscenes, but sort of scenes where you're locked in place and you can't move on until he finishes talking. I mean, the voice acting was well done and it's all, you know, well presented, but it doesn't allow the map to flow as naturally as I would have liked. So. And when you test the map over and over and over, yeah, it really wears you down, having to wait for all those speeches. But we had ways around it. Oh, I have 100 already. So this is a little sneaky. We tried to make this a little more obvious because people were getting stuck here. And that you can open these doors. And you had to get that security card. So we left this one, you know, kind of purposefully open here. Oh, he's not opening because of the stupid slave.
Greetings.
Yeah, that's something. Oh no, I got stuck. Got stuck in the floor, had to no-clip there. Yeah, and my only other complaint about this map is it's incredibly easy. I mean, even if you're fairly new to Half-Life combat, but I'm already at 100 health, 100 HEV, and there's 2 sets of chargers here in this area. So, I mean, it is a little bit of a battle coming up, but the one, he had this ammo like nicely laid out on a shelf here, and the ammo just wasn't behaving. Like it would spawn when you started the map, and it would all just sink through the floor, unfortunately. I don't know if that was a spirit thing or something else we changed in the map, so I had to actually just have it strewn about the floor here instead, unfortunately. Right, so it's the classic, you know, grunts breaking through the door. But you've got plenty of this stuff. So if you saved it, you can create quite the mess when they break down. I would have preferred this again to go a little faster too. Maybe have the sparks on both sides so that... Oh, I blew the one too early. I got too excited, I didn't wait. I don't think you can go back through this. Oh, you can go this way though. And it's not really clear, but that's basically it. You're on your way out now. You completed the mission. Now the door leading back to where you came in is open. So yeah, there's a lot of weapons and a lot of HEV health.
Quite a show you put on. Clearly, you are capable of handling any situation. Now, I am a man of my word. I will let you continue your journey of descent. But should I require a capable accomplice, let's just say that in time we shall meet again.
Yeah, no, that's the worst spray. It's just like glass, right? Yeah, so that's what I mean. I mean, it's a little drawn out, his speeches. It's not game breaking until you play the map 20 times in a row trying to debug things. But no, that was a good map. That was by Dolmo. That was Phantom Lab. The Tomb by Ogdred. Ogdred and Windaws. So this is a pretty clever map. It got a little bit of hate. And I think you'll see why. It's mostly an instant death platformer. But I think it was, you know... It's Half-Life's an old school game. You get maps like that sometimes. The quick save button goes a long way toward alleviating the pain of instant deaths. So, I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not. Clearly an office worker just took it upon himself to build his office into a tomb, a deadly tomb instead. He's being reported to HR by Mike. Yeah, this is, I mean, you've got, like I said, you've got the quick save available. It is ultra dark. There's no question about that. And we even lightened it up quite a bit. I think 40% from its original. So if you speed through here, you're going to fall right in the lava and die. And there are, you know, moderately evil traps ahead. If you know, I'll point out this one crowbar here. You see how it doesn't have a torch on it, like this one does. That's because it comes down and swings at you as you go past. So if you try to just keep going, you'll get blocked and die there. So another nasty trick. Yeah, I made it look easy, but I knew what was coming, so. This one's another pretty clever room. I mean, this is classic, you know, what we think of as Egyptian trap rooms, right? You see in role-playing games or you know, adventure games, that sort of thing. And here it's a matter of finding the right sequence of buttons to allow you to escape before you get mushed. This one I do have a bit of a hard time on. Oh, there we go. You just have to jump over things, time it properly. So these are from Simon O'Callahan's texture wad from Quake back in the day, I think. SOC, right? The textures are nice. Half-Life engine or Quake engine, they work pretty well. And I think this is the only map in the tower that requires you to actually collect the CD. The only way to get out of this is to get the CD there. Oh, you made that fire sprite, Adam? Nice. It's a nice sprite. I actually think I used it too in my in the bonus map. Oh right, more lava. That. Yep, that got me. So there are autosaves built in, of course, and the quick save is available. It's platforming, but it's not killer platforming in my opinion. But yeah, people are gonna have their own opinions on it. So that was the tomb. This one is, yeah, Cargo Specimen number 798 by Cy Warvet, who made actually 3 maps in this tower. The only mapper to contribute 3 maps. Yeah, and somebody in chat did mention this is the skybox from Poke 646, which is much better than the standard city skybox that comes with Half-Life. Even Counter-Strike too. So.
What is he doing in there?
Hint: it's the Kingpin. So before we start this map, this is going to be a little hectic. The map was intentionally this way. This is another early map in the pack that kind of frustrates people. But you, again, just have to be very judicious about your use of quick save. And be careful you don't quick save in a poorly chosen area.
Get him out of there. Shut down the equipment and someone get him out.
So this is, like I said, quite the intense map. As soon as he starts shooting, he doesn't stop. So you have to
Out of there! Run, man!
immediately, like, yeah. See, he just continuously shoots if he can see you. And you take quite a bit of damage very quickly. All through these windows, so you gotta be, yeah. Today's code is 249. Should be 247, shouldn't it? Yeah, so he shoots you, like, no matter where you are through these windows. Oh, see, he's even shooting me ducked there. Ouch. So, I want to point out these. You need the gun to proceed. It's not clear, and I'll show you why later. What we wanted to do was not to make sure the player could not run out of ammo and be stuck. So I actually had these respawn, which is, you know, trivial. But surprising that that sound that you hear is not standard in Half-Life. I mean, it is in a fashion. It's of course using deathmatch for ammo respawning, but it's actually a specific sound for the TOW cannon sped up by 200%. So I had to make a custom sound to do that. They of course do that in engine in the in deathmatch, but you can't just play that sound in single player and have it sound like that. It would just play at normal speed. So anyway, little tidbit. Yeah, so you're protected from him through these grates only. And originally these grates were on the inside of the room, moving up and down like that. And it really became a claustrophobic death trap, especially with the chair that doesn't move. So we moved him to the inside. Anyway. Oh, the sprite's on there. Okay. So this is the way to proceed. It's not obvious at all, which is why we added the sprite here. This only shows up after like 30 seconds or so. So in the meantime, I've been kind of narrating things. That's why this sprite is already here. You can't use the button. Doesn't do anything. And of course you put yourself at risk. So you gotta shoot it. I am not the biggest fan of that, but we didn't want to completely change the mapper's vision. So when we got all the map sources, the JMF files basically, to integrate everything together, we had some leeway as to what we could fix, what we could change, what we could polish. But that was one of the things we didn't want to change too much of. We didn't want to overhaul like a mapper's, you know, vision without their participation. Oh, jeez. See, that's what I mean. This is deadly. Oh, and it's all the way back here. Christ. All right. Never mind. We're speed running. Yeah, see. See, now there's no sprite on this guy. It does show up a bit later. Yeah, you've got to hit that button immediately. So, it was really tricky. I put an autosave in this room because otherwise you had to go all the way back to the start. Almost like I just did. It was really tricky finding a spot to put the autosave that didn't let you, like, sit here and get shot. You know, so, see, even here I'm getting shot. Another sprite we added. This is the security card you need. Oh my god. There's no safe place. Yeah, so I get frustrated by this map too, to be honest. But now we have what we need. We just have to make our way through here. Safely, which may not be easy. If this did a little less damage, or there was a delay on it, I would have been much more okay with it. Now, this is the one safe place from the laser. I don't know why he's pulsing like that, but he is, so... We finally get to shoot him. Wait, shit, did I get the CD in Dolmos map? I don't think I did I? Does anybody remember? I think I totally... It didn't occur to me. Oh my god, I said I would 100% this. Well, alright. We're speedrunning from the start then. I don't think there's any way to do this 100% other than to start over, so... I apologize. So, you guys have to remind me to get the CDs. I know where they are. No, I did get it from Dolmos. Yeah, because it was in that... Yes, it was in the water. It was in the flooded room. Yeah, so I did get it. Yeah, no, never, we're good. So, you know, this map was okay. In general, I liked the... sort of the puzzle aspect of it, how you have to go back and forth along these hallways, but you're really, really punished by the Kingpin. Anytime you just bump something, like you bump a corner and you're stuck for a second, he'll take, you know, 40 health away from you, which is not cool. So, in retrospect, I wish we had turned down the damage or the repeat rate of his laser firing. Anyway. This is one of the trickiest CDs to get. And you have to remember to get it because it's way out of your way, but it's actually up here. So you have to, you know, do a couple trick jumps here. Yeah, we're definitely getting the CD here. I wouldn't forget this one. Half-Life CD. The other thing we waffled over was whether to add like a progress indicator for the CDs, like have it, you know, have a light here or something to say whether you collected the CD by the time you leave the floor. That's not a bad idea. We didn't add it, but... Oh, this is a nice relaxing map. Food Court by Truck Stop Santa Claus. And it...
A fellow scientist.
...is literally a food court. No threats here. Actually, I think the hot food can hurt you a bit, but that's really it. There's no enemies. Gonna eat my pizza. It's just a break from the normal, you know, the normal maps. And this is what I like about this kind of collaborative pack, is you could just do stuff like this if you wanted. It doesn't have to be a combat map or a puzzle map, or it can just be a silly food court with, you know, pop culture references that will be out of date, if not already, then very soon, you know. Here's our CD. I don't know what that is, but okay. No disc here, just rats. Yeah, so it was just a map he wanted to make. Fine by me. You got to eat your pizza. Okay, eat your burger too. Look who got the last kangaroo burger. Yeah, yummy. And that's it for this floor, really. It's just kind of a chill out floor. That was food court.
Morning, Mr. Freeman. Looks like you're running late.
This is one of the standout maps of this pack. This is Half Pint by Mr. Floyd. which couldn't really be done without Spirit. So I didn't mention it, but the code for this, the programming code for TWHL Tower 2 is based on Spirit of Half-Life, which is kind of a mapper's toolkit. Lets you do some fancy things and a lot of relatively mundane things that you can't really do in vanilla Half-Life. This is one of them. This is all the, let's say, Earthbound chapters of Half-Life, all compacted into a single 1024 by 1024 by 240, I think was the height units. So, 85 feet by 85 feet by maybe 12 feet high.
Hey, Mr. Freeman. I had a bunch of messages for you, but we had a system crash about 20 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to find my files. Just one of those days, I guess. They're waiting for you, Gordon. In the test chamber.
And this really does a reasonably excellent job, I have to say, of representing each chapter in Half-Life. It really is a half-pint version of the game.
Should keep you comfortable through all this. The specimen will be delivered to you in a few moments. We'll take it from here.
It's not possible without Spirit because all of these chapters overlap. Not all of them, but that area is not nearly enough for all the space. So what's done is these, once you're done with this anomalous materials and whatever chamber, it actually moves out of the way, and then another chamber moves in and takes its place, all with move with and fancy sort of Spirit entities.
Get away
Shutting
from
down.
the beam.
Attempting shutdown. It's not. It's not shutting down. It's not.
Science team uniforms. Get the hell out of here. Crazy. Hey, what the hell are you doing down here? Get topside. I hear troops are coming in to save us.
Yeah, you can only move solid brushes if they're if they're entities, right? If they're func trains or whatever, and that's true in Spirit too. But I'm not going to say each one of these is its own entity because I don't think that's the case. But what Spirit does let you do is have entities move with something else. So you could, even doors and things like that. So you could move this entire room or this set of two rooms out of the way or kill it, once the player's done with it, and have the other either move into its place or basically, I don't want to say spawn, but, turn on like a func wall toggle sort of thing. So the one thing I should mention is if any mapper is interested in any of these tricks, nearly all the source maps for the TWHL Tower 2 are available, both in the map vault on TWHL and on MonDB, with the exception of a couple of mappers either didn't respond or didn't allow their maps to be released, their source maps. So if you're a mapper, you can dig into how this was done just by opening it in Jack. So.
Rescued at last. Thank God you're here. Well, so much for the government. Their idea of containment is to kill everyone associated with the project. Now look, anyone can end this catastrophe. The science team and the lab
Didn't even see you
complex
there.
at the opposite end of the base. If you can make it through the rocket test lab,
I'm not going
you
to,
might be
no.
able to
That's
worm your
left
way
up to
through
the
the
user.
tunnels to track down whatever's left of the Lambda team. You can trust them. You can trust all of us.
It'd be a whole separate stream if I looked at all the source maps. There's 25 maps here, right? It's a ton. And honestly, Mr. Floyd would be the best one to go through this map because it's dense even in the Hammer or the Jack editor. It's hard to really visualize what's going on. I'd be much more suited to doing a behind the scenes for my own maps in this. Really, the only way you could do Blast Pit, right, was either a little hologram or something like this. So I think this is clever. And I don't remember if that's just an animated texture or a series of sprites or a sprite that he plays to do that animation. Power Up has the mini Garg here too. We just gotta reach the switch. And someone tweeted, "This is the best version of On a Rail ever." The end. Right, he is really taking some of the most memorable bits from all these chapters, which I like.
Nice hit.
I don't know if it's a texture. You can do up to 20 frames, right? You can do 10 and then switch it, and then do another 10. But it might be a sprite, in which case I think you can do 255 frames in a sprite. Unfortunately, he picked the worst part of residue processing. And there's a lot of bad parts of residue processing to pick from, and he picked maybe the worst. And this is, oh god. See, it even breaks in. You see that last one? Oh, this map is a piece of crap no matter what mod it's in. He also used Spirit to make the Grunt drop his weapon, so you could actually get the Hive Hand. It's really the only way to give it to you here. Yeah, it must be a sprite then. And an extremely crowded garage here. Let's see if we can survive this. Don't get mushed. Probably not the most representative part of surface tension, of course, but it's hard to do outside in the limited space that he had. It's a sprite, 109 frames in the sprite, yeah. It's a good way to do like looping television broadcasts or whatever.
For our first survey team, quite a few handsome specimens were collected from the border world and brought back this way. We suspect there is an immense portal over there, created by the intense concentration of a single powerful being. I hate to say this, Gordon, but you must kill it if you can. If you're willing, my colleague is waiting for you at the main portal controls. He will open the gates for you, Mr. Freeman. Do hurry. Don't worry. I am a doctor.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to stay here and wait for my colleague.
And a mini, really mini teleport chamber.
Don't enter the beam until I give the okay. Understood? I will begin.
Oh, you can lock the orientation of sprites. It's like the type of sprite. You can lock it. Yeah, the 303.org has a great sprite tutorial on how to do all that.
It's ready. You must go now.
You can have them only rotate in one direction. You can have them fixed. You can, yeah, there's a whole bunch of options, actually. That was Half Pint by Mr. Floyd. Real screenshots from the maps, not his maps. Sorry, no Zen. And there's our CD. I like the radio version of the song playing. This is Zick Shadow's entry called Memories. Some interesting text in this one. Find the lost memories and the path shall open. Yeah, I mean, the text leads you to believe it's something about, you know, PTSD or killing during wartime. It's a little, you know, it's written a little cryptically, but I don't mind that. Kind of an odd computer here, but yeah. Robotization factor? Like a cyborg or something? Unknown. Roboticizer ready.
A nice dream, but dreams are meant to be broken.
Yet you failed in your mission. There's a cool, like, iris door there. Missed it. Got the CD. That was a foot, wasn't it? Your mind nevertheless became your permanent prison. No exit from this hell. Yeah, this map is a lot deeper than I give credit for, I think, but It's not very long in the end, thankfully. It does have a surprise for you at the end. A little bit, you know, Afraid of Monsters-esque. He's wearing a mask. That's interesting. I actually didn't notice that before. Yeah, too bad Zick didn't make the stream. He usually, that's for Shepard. He usually shows up at these. Orange Corp by Dr. Orange. Another mainly source mapper, I think. He's made at least one mod for Gold Source, right? Entered into that Half-Life Nostalgia challenge at TWHL. And made 2 maps in this tower. This is the first one. Did Tower 1 have an enemy like that? I don't remember that. Unfortunately attacked by aliens 4 years ago. Please disregard it. That's nice. Compress water. Okay. Well, if you can accept teleporters, you can accept compressing liquids. All right. Hey, TWHL Tower 2. So that's how it all started. This was I mean, we knew the follow-on was coming at some point, but I think it was Strider, right, made a post on the TWHL forums just about 2 years ago. I think it was November or December of 2019, pre-pandemic, asking for interested mappers to, basically download the template, make their own map, and send it in, and then it would be assembled into the tower. And the printing room, there's absolutely nothing of interest in here. That's a lie. There is something of interest in there. And then we eventually all sent our maps in. It took longer than most to finish mine. And then it was assembled into a pack and released in November last year. So yeah, total time from, initial post to release, close to a year. So that happens. Whoa, meta. If you've got monitors on computers in a Half-Life map, it's obligatory to include a hammer or jack screenshot. Worldcraft, also acceptable. Trench Room, also acceptable these days. But you lose your Half-Life modder card if you don't have one. There's our CD. Hey, it's the underwater module, right? The breathing apparatus, not really supported in Half-Life, or wasn't used in Half-Life, let's say, but actually works in maps. If you're underwater and you touch this, you get like an extra 30 seconds of air or something like that. Secret door. Did Dr. Orange have the floor in Tower 1? I don't think so. Maybe. I did not kill the office staff. Is that what you think? Yeah, you did. Okay, then sorry. Which floor was it? So this is like a text log or something. The workers were killed by alien ghosts. Do not open up the printing room. That's like the do not press button, which I have in my map. Of course we're going to override the printing door. Oh, yeah, sorry. So I guess Dr. Orange is more experienced in Gold Source than I thought. I know he released the short 6 or 7 map mod. I didn't realize he actually mapped in Tower 1, too. So these are alien ghosts. Who's shooting me? Oh. Not cool. It really is just the printing room, huh? Oh, ordnance. No. Look at what I have done. What have I done? Repel the alien ghosts? Positive the ghosts will kill more people. Well, I guess I pissed the ghosts off, huh? Oh, there's actually TWHL Tower right here on this monitor. That is is that the background of TWHL Tower? That is from Strider's map, Chairman. I need the exit key card, right? Oh, right, the big flashing light. Surprisingly hard to find. So, yeah, we got it. Kind of subtle. That's why the flashing light is there. we got the CD in that one. Yeah. Teleoffice by Rolling Barrel. This one is fairly standard Half-Life map.
This is my hiding spot, and I'm not moving until the situation is drastically
Except the
improved.
end. There's some
Now
interesting
go
things
away
at the
and
end.
Don't tell anyone I'm here. I'm not so sure I want to go to the surface. What if the world finds out what we were doing down here?
Yeah, so interesting sort of interconnectedness in this map, I think. This is hard to understand, but these are the 2 doors I just tried about a minute ago as I was making my way down through those grunts. Oh, CD right there for the taking. Oh, and jerks up above us. Where are you? Oh, wow, they got me. Oh my god. Alright. Need to quick save more. Yeah, no, I think it only comes from my knowledge of the map layout. I don't think it ever really becomes clear. This does spin down, right? Yeah. These are the doors here I'm talking about. I think maybe at the end these doors open up and it becomes a little clearer, but... Yeah, I think it's right here. Anyway, alright, quick save. And now, before we grab that, what do we have here? Luckily they can't shoot through the floor, but... Another thing you couldn't easily do without Spirit. These are all breakable. And luckily this ammo is infinite. You just have to go up and grab more from here. It's not really made clear, but... Yeah, I don't know why I'm using machine gun here. I just do this. I mean, the E-gun is satisfying to use. Doesn't matter what you're using it for. Even just shooting lamps. Oh, well. Rip. That was teleoffice. It's just to emphasize that the elevator doesn't work, yeah. Training course by Spike Hunter. This is a pretty decent one that uses kind of a variation on an enemy. If you've played Sven co-op, you see a lot of these guys. But really, you know, designed to look like a training course. Now they still bleed, so they're not quite like the Sven co-op guys that are kind of resistant to bullets, but same idea. So. So I cheat a little bit because I know where these guys are. Sorry. And it's just basically a way to make you backtrack through the level. with a couple of like monster closets popping open as you return. So, I mean, pretty straightforward. He did clip the, kind of sort of the ceiling here, so that disallows you from, of course, jumping up and kind of cheating your way back to the exit, which is right next to us here. But that's fine. This wall has a couple cracks on it. It's pretty subtle, but this is hiding the CD, of course. There's one behind us, right? Yeah. Vital signs are critical. Oh, got me. We're on our way out here, aren't we? Yeah. I think we got it. I think that's the last guy. Maybe not. Yes. The good thing about the tower is you don't have to... Yes, this is 100% CD, 100% paintings, too. The good thing about this tower is you really don't have to worry about what kind of shape you're in when you leave a floor, because you get full health back when you go to the next floor. So, this is Strider's level. So he and I ended up making sort of similar... somewhat similar levels for this. This is an art gallery heist, as is mine. And he explains it here for you. It's time for a heist. Steal the Lambda token. Guards will shoot on sight. Disable the security at the junction boxes. And then watch out for the cameras. 4 strikes, which I think is very generous. Could have probably done 2 and gotten away with it. And we get a nifty crossbow to start. So this is Smash and Grab by Strider, which is beautifully textured. I love Strider's textures. I think he makes his own custom ones for every map that he makes. I love the Bafford reference to Thief, of course. Bafford's Manor was, I think, the first level of Thief, right? Oh, Jesus. Here I am just chatting about the Thief reference. I'm getting shot. So these are the cameras. Again, probably not possible without spirit, I'm guessing. And if you get detected by one, it immediately buzzes and 4 strikes and you're out. And what that does is that locks off your goal here. These doors close, and I think you get gassed or something, so the level's over at that point. These are the junctions we're looking for. You see another one up there. Oh, I saw Barney there really very briefly. We see him again? No, he... Oh, there's a custom guard for this that was never used? So I used a custom guard in my final level. I never thought about going back and putting it into Strider's level, because I gave him the Magnum, the custom guard. And he was really slow, too. His animation is really slow, so he runs slower than Barney. And to be honest, this is one of the levels that I didn't really touch because it was, it's Strider's level. So he was involved in the integrating all the levels together. So he basically did all the fix-ups and touch-ups for this map. Hello. Actually, that was lucky. One of the sticking points that people have found on this map is finding that last junction box, and it was actually right in our view there. If you come out here from here kneeling, that was just a happy accident. This being just elevated above eye level, a lot of people don't look up and never find it, so they, you know, they ask about how to find it, sort of thing. Again, the nice thing about this, in contrast to the Strider's level in Tower 1, is that it's not instant fail. Right, you can actually get detected, and then it doesn't do anything until you're detected like 4 times, right? So all junctions disabled. I should take more time to look at all these paintings. I don't. They're nice. I use paintings that I personally like in my own level, in my art gallery level. So we got the CD, I think. So the one thing we did try to make more obvious was we put these signs up to say "Don't touch," which hopefully would get you to look upward toward this. That junction box proved to be very hard for people to find in general. So, and the lesson in my own map, which I'll show you later, is I have a vent that's kind of above eye level, and it's frustrating to see people struggle with finding it, and it's my own fault. But you can't underestimate how rarely people playing first-person shooters look up. Yoink. Yeah, hi, Dr. Orange. How's it going? Just played your map a few minutes ago. So we numbered the floors too, so you know when you're getting down to, you know, near ground level. This is the second one by Jamaican Dave in this pack. I think he finished the first one off, felt pretty good about it, and went back and made a second map for the tower.
No, I don't want to die.
Funny they're not bothering to shoot you through the windows now, but they do later, I think. So. Whoops. So, I did this in one of my levels way back. I like how the first weapon you get is the grenades. It kind of forces you into a specific approach rather than just giving you, the standard pistol, shotgun, crowbar up front. Especially against a turret that has a pretty good view on your approach here. There's our CD. Yeah, Tower 1 was a great idea. I didn't have a chance to participate in it, of course, but I did make my own level separately based on the approach to Tower 1 or the restrictions of Tower 1 called Senodrome. The Lost Sub-Basement, I nicknamed it. So that's on the map vault as well. And the bonus map in this is actually a sequel to that, which is kind of an arena-based map. I wanted, after playing Tower 1, actually streaming it, I think, on what might have been Planet Phillip at the time. But yeah, I streamed it sort of blind playthrough. Had fun with it and really liked the restrictions of it. The 1024 floor plan. Limitations breed creativity, of course. So, but I really wanted to make a map that took advantage of the Spirit offerings and customization. While a couple of the mappers had done sort of, Spirit-only things, I really wanted to take it to, take it further. So I made Senodrome to kind of fulfill that. And then when Tower 2 came around, I really, couldn't not participate, if that makes sense. I'll explain a little more when I get to my own level. Yeah, that was Jamaican Dave's Savior. Got the key card to exit. Yeah, no, Spirit, there's a lot that it offers, and it's not very well documented. And unfortunately, a lot of my knowledge of Spirit simply is a result of having known about it for so long. Like when it came out, when it was first being programmed by Lori in 2001 or so, it was, I was there on the forums and kind of following it and testing things here and there. So this is actually a filler level.
Hello? Can you hear me? This thing
I'll let
even
this
work?
play out.
If you can hear me, I'm glad you're enjoying the tower's more hospitable areas. That's really nice to see, actually. We did have them put in for a reason. You might not remember me, actually. We met earlier. We were on a roof. Still pretty stuck up here, actually. Really stuck, actually. So if you could move along and get the security lockdown situation sorted, that would be fantastic, actually. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if you heard any of that, but just move on. Just get on with it. What's he doing?
Yeah, so as I was saying, this was actually a replacement level. One of the mappers that originally submitted a map decided to withdraw it. It was understandable. They didn't feel they weren't confident that it was their best work, whatever. But by then we had already stitched the levels together. So rather than just subtracting that and moving each by a floor, Strider decided to make another kind of relaxation-based map. Just Zen Garden again with his great textures and custom artwork. I don't know if it's his artwork or I don't think it is his, but artwork that he used around here, and just kind of a chill out level. Domesticated head crabs until you break the glass, and then they're no longer domesticated. That's just the exit door. If we wanted to leave, we could. Really straightforward floor plan. We could walk out right now, but we have to yet get the CD. So I love the little snark statues. Another thing I, let's say, borrowed for my bonus level. With good reason. There's our CD. Vicious head crabs, run away. Alright, that was Zen Garden. A very groovy, chill map, except for those head crabs. Dr. Orange's second map in the tower here. Apartments. I personally would have made these a little more obvious that you couldn't climb them, but minor point. By this point we know we're kind of forced through the floors rather than skipping to the exit, right? So no biggie. One of the more clever ways to present the CD here, I thought. Classic CD-ROM tray. Gonna watch some TV first, okay. Placement fuse. So pretty simple layout. Minor puzzle to tackle there. Oh. Fairly well done. If you're speedrunning, you get a close look up at that shadow, and that, you know, it's kind of a cardboard cutout if I remember right. So, but yeah, little spooky touches here and there. Back to your apartment. Should go to bed now. Okay. It would have been funny if something popped up right there while you were in bed, but okay. And now things are like a hellscape. Nope. Well, he's seen better days. By now we know. I personally would have made this fuse box look like the other one, but then it could confuse the player the first time through. So, anyway, we know that goes there. We can pass the hell wall with a fuse. Oh, there was supposed to be a monster there originally. Where in the bedroom scene, you mean, or in this room with the guy in the crates? And that's it. So basically, I would have, I would have changed this a little bit. I would have not just have the path to the exit be wide open like this. I would have made the player not creep down this hallway, but maybe go step by step. Make it a little less straightforward to just exit the whole room here, the whole floor. Not much of a turnabout by Penguin Boy. So this is a very interesting level. One of the things I like the most is that the CD is presented right there for you, but you have to solve the puzzle to get it. You can just skip to the end if you really want to with the confirmation, but we're not going to do that because we want the CD. You can't skip to the end and get the CD, so you've got to go solve the puzzle, and it's a whodunit, murder mystery sort of thing. So we've got to go through the clues here. And he warns you up front, if this puzzle level isn't your thing, you can skip and leave the level if you want. And there's a clue tracker, which is fantastic too. So there's a lot to this level, but it's not terribly complex because it's presented fairly linearly, right? Like there's only one of these doors that opens at the start here. So yeah, that's the only door that's the only room we can kind of explore at this point. Room 302. So, and there's sprites added, glowing sprites added for what is sort of interactive and what isn't. Except for you sort of have to understand that all these closets are openable too. Screwdriver. Let's take a look in the freezer, I mean. Fridge. A lot of bills and other documents all addressed to Stephen Wilson, so we can fairly assume that this is Stephen's apartment. Black Mesa research papers. Nothing much in here. I like the shirts. The brush shirts. That's Gold Source. Dog of War. Does that say Puncharted 5? I don't think I saw that one before. Oh wait, I didn't see the top one either. I don't think I've ever looked at this one. Bath Standing. Okay. Clever. And that, but if we take a look at our clue tracker here, so we only got 2 clues out of 6 so far. We're not going to get all the way through this room because the bathroom is here, you can see, but is kind of jammed. Somehow somebody got a crate in there. The classic Half-Life issue. There's a crate where it shouldn't be. but we can use the screwdriver elsewhere. Another leg in a crate. Yep, okay. So the screwdriver allowed us to open the vent here and get through. Did we miss anything? I don't think so. Okay, so we're now in another apartment. Shoes in the shoebox. So Hannah looks like she lives here, along with her mom, who doesn't like to read. Or has no time for it. And Scarlett Smith clearly works at Black Mesa, too. I would guess her mom is Scarlett. So Adam lives in 303. We got the key to 303. Books by Agatha Christie. Okay, well, maybe Scarlett does like to read then. Just Agatha Christie. That's it here, I think. Yeah, so we got all 5 clues in there. We got the 2 clues in the 3 clues in the storage warehouse. Still have a couple clues here we haven't gotten, but we still need to get in the bathroom to find those. We have the key to 302? 303? Sorry. Oh, somebody's just moving in? Moving out? I don't know. I don't get it. This may just be over my head or a joke I don't get the reference to, but I assume it's something. Explosives. These explosives can only damage walls and are harmless to anything that's not a wall. That's a, shorthand for this as a single use in a specific place. So, fine. Cleaning up radioactive waste. There'd be plenty of that in Black Mesa. Nothing of interest here. Yeah. That's Oberdin, right? I have yet to play that. I think we got... Did we get everything here? Yep, just 2 clues in there. We've got... Oh, we can burst this down because we've got the crowbar now, right? Ah. The victim. Well, he was shot, even though there's a knife here. Bloody knife, and he was shot. How did the killer get out of the room? A very suspicious vent. The Burr sign is a Phoenix Wright reference. Okay. I've not played those games either. The great here's... So it looks like our killer shot the guy through the vent. That was a hell of a shot. And maybe somehow shoved a bloody knife in there too. I don't know. stood on the ladder to do this. So, seemingly our killer lives here with a kill your neighbors and get away with it book. I love the to-do list. To-do list. Stop sharing research with thieves. Right, so motive was stolen research. Revenge, maybe. Lisa's ice cream. Okay. So Lisa lives here. Ooh, found the gun. Several bullets missing from the clip. Okay. Is there more stuff here? Hey, it's Half-Life crap. So Taylor's the baby. We know Lisa lives here. Do we know whose this is? No, it's just a computer. Alright, well I think is that enough to solve everything? I think so. Victim was Steven, right? Yeah. Because we went in his apartment first and then we found him in the bathroom later. Culprit was Lisa. Weapon was pistol. Motive. Revenge. I think that's it. Yay! We get our CD. So clever. I mean, I like the layout of this. The one thing I would want to do, being an entity, I don't know, wizard, or masochist maybe, would be to somehow change up the placement of these just for replayability. It's not a big deal. But there's a lot of names on this that don't even come into aren't even factored in all the clues you found, which is fine. But yeah, so that takes a little bit of time and a little bit of memory to get through this, but it's a pretty good puzzle for what it is. Yeah. That was Penguin Boy's map. Gold Sorcerer. Yeah, I like that term. Irby's map. Headley and Crab Solicitors. Oh. The horror.wave. Oh, hey, we can see our CD right away. Sitting on the table there. And very suspicious zombies. But we're not armed yet, so let's not provoke anybody. Wow. I like the dark coat on these guys. Makes them stand out. Oh, padlock. Padlock's a little hard to hit, but no biggie. Where did he come from? Let's collect our CD. Oh, actually, I don't think I've ever noticed this before. That's Irby and Archie, of course. Makers of the core. Oh. Scared me. Head crab. Can we actually get through? Yeah, we can. So we're still locked out. Yeah, we've got to make our way through the office there. Surprisingly, this button here, you could actually hit that from the other side of this wall. So I had to add a trigger in out or a trigger here, I think. So only after you broke the vent could this button be pushed. Otherwise, you can break the map by hitting it through the wall. Thanks, Half-Life.
Hey! Eat this, you bastard!
No, this map is fine. I mean, it's, you know, it's standard Half-Life assets. It's pretty good use of space. You've got to, you know, traverse kind of back and forth and, you know, through the same sets of areas a couple times. I like it. And that should be our skip. Now it's the security card to get out. We got the CD. Downward. Another spooky map. Darkwoods Penitentiary by Cywarvet. Their second map in this tower out of 3 so far. A little bit of samey texturing going on, but it's not really maze-like. It's pretty straightforwardly laid out, so you can't really get lost, at least. Oh wait, we had boards back here, right? Yeah. Sniff, sniff. Alright. If this is Silent Hill stuff, I don't really get that either, but... Will that open something else? Open this? No. That opened this. Is there a CD in the corner? So, for the most part, they're not devilishly hidden. A couple are tricky to get to, like that last map you had to solve, you know, Penguin Boy's entire mystery puzzle before getting the CD. God, I don't know why that button is so hard to hit. It took me like 10 tries to hit it. Some of them are hidden, some of them are obvious but hard to get, and a couple of them are obviously both easy to find and easy to get. Oh, right, the big payoff joke at the end of the map here.
Over here.
Did you submit your status report to the administrator today?
All for a status report joke. Yeah. That was Darkwoods.
But the administrator just
Silence.
would not listen.
Darkwoods Penitentiary by Cywarvet. What floor are we on here? Flippin'. I added a battery because this map is really difficult. If you play on hard, good luck to you. I actually named it Flippin'. Too Much Video Games. Another veteran mapper. And had a map in Tower 1 as well, didn't name his map, his or her map. So I named it Flippant, because you'll see why in a second. So, clever if simple premise, but it makes for a difficult map. And these guys are hard to hit sometimes. The jankiness of Gold Source. Yeah, these batteries were added, and it's actually done by skill level. On easy, I think there's more ammo for this Magnum, and another battery, and I think 1 or 2 fewer baddies in the next room. So this next room is absolutely brutal, even on medium, even though I've played it this map 20 times. There's the same thing. There are enemies tied to the ceiling, but they're assassins. So, and actually that trash can I added too, as just the tiniest bit of cover you can possibly get. So here, I'll quick save and show you what it's like. It's, without using that. Oh, this one's on the, oh, they're on the floor. Oh, they should be stuck to the ceiling, but anyway, so this is a deadly map. One more, right? Yep. Alright, we lived. And the door closes behind you, too, so you can't snipe them from the door. They actually don't appear until you get in here. But this trash can, which didn't exist in the original map, was the only way I could really save this map without significantly changing it. This is probably the most unfair CD of all the maps. You actually have to do this to get the CD, which is not something. The one map that was removed was actually maybe more evil. It was in a trash can like this that you had to break with no indication that it was special in any way. But so now we know we can hear this stuff behind. So this guy should all be on the roof. Or maybe they're not. Maybe it's only some of them. I was thinking everybody was tied to the roof, but maybe not. That's the exit door. And that was Flippant. Oh, Von Braun. Ogdred. So we're getting down to the brass tacks here. We've only got 5 floors to go. Actually 6, because you have to include the ground floor and 1 bonus map. So we're getting down there. You recognize the name Von Braun. You might know what this map is about. And these textures and sounds were all used with permission.
Warning. There is a Class 1 intrusion alert in the cryo recovery suite. There is a Class 1 intrusion alert in the cryo recovery suite.
So if you don't recognize this, this is all from System Shock 2. Which is a great sort of hybrid first-person shooter RPG. Stumbled across it. 2937 is our code for something. Password, yeah. And the one cool thing that was added was this info panel. If you, again, recognize this from the System Shock 2 game, these I think were placed around to give you hints, and actually it's the same thing here. If you use it, you get a hint here. if needed, use this terminal to highlight your next objective. So it doesn't tell you what to do, but it'll help you a little bit. In this case, we know our first objective because here's our passcode. But I'll highlight it just to show you. Objective highlight activated. So it's not a blazed trail to the puzzle. Actually, I love these red lights here, the way that looks on the floor. I never really appreciated that before. That's cool. But it gives you a little highlight. You see that security key code sprite, basically. So this is a puzzle level. There's no combat in it. It's a way of, you got to figure out how to make your way through the map. And our first one is here. We'll do this, which is again a interesting.
This is Xerxes. Due to the recent confusion, there will be a ship-wide census tomorrow at 0900.
So I believe he did this with a funk tank. So invisibly you're shooting buttons, but all you can see is your mouse cursor there. The reason it was a little slow for me is I play inverted Y mouse, and that inverts the controls on that whole thing too. So it's a little, the mouse didn't move the way I expected it to move. Got all of our chemicals. Unfortunately, they're just for show. We don't actually combine any chemicals or use them for anything in this map. So.
Security system online.
Oh, yep, security system is online. Looks like he's got a key card or something I need, though. Let's see if I can get through there. Yep, I picked something up. Is that this? Yes. Ooh, security turret.
Unit 0892 compromised.
I think we just shut it off. Sadly, this guy doesn't come out of his chamber. But these were some of the robots in the original System Shock, of course. System Shock 2, I mean. So our turret's off, at least.
This is Xerxes. Due to measures beyond our control.
Yeah, I've never played Deus Ex. It's on my list. I know I'd like it. I just don't have the time to invest in it right now. One of these days. So even though it looks like you can jump on this vent grate, you can't. So there's no way to make it into this vent without dragging your little crate over here. Oh, actually, let me go back and highlight our objectives. Yeah, see, so you would have known that this dead power cell is the next the next objective. So it's a good hint system because this is a decent puzzle level where you can kind of get stuck on what can I do next or what should I do next.
Insufficient access.
The harmony is
Disturbed.
Nope. Thankfully, that's just a voice. They're not actually there. Yeah. Dead power cell. We got to charge the power cell, which is that. And then we can place the power cell where we need it, which is in the door. And now we need the crate again to jump that. So a nice little set of interconnected puzzles. This could have been, a pretty clever map even without the System Shock 2 connection. But as it is, it feels like System Shock 2. I mean, the movement is of course Half-Life, and the characters are of course Half-Life. But between the ambient sounds and the great texture and lighting, this feels just like System Shock 2. There's Xerxes. And our CD.
This is Xerxes. Please report any electrical anomalies to your direct superior. Remember
Yeah, no, the mood of System Shock 2 is excellent. I highly recommend it if you haven't played it. And that's it for Von Braun. Floor 4 by Lucas323. This one I named. Lucas submitted it without a title. I asked him several times what the title of his map should be so we can make the the sign and everything. And he basically said, give it one. So I used an online romance novel title generator, and here we are. Cupid's Q.
Security is engaged.
Nope. Suddenly and silently, headcrab got generated, I guess, when I hit the security override. I don't know. Interesting way for the two rooms to connect. But okay. So more, I mean, so far at least, mostly standard Half-Life fare. It's got the classic textures and the office feel from Office Complex, sort of. Another, move the crate to the right place to make a jump puzzle, if you will. Oh, these guys. I should have had them fade on death. There we go. I might have been able to make that jump, but not sure. And then, this is a little inexplicable. I don't know quite why this area exists down here, but it does. Oh, got a security card. Or why he's standing in water. But that was one of the good things about a collaboration like this, and actually it's been a part of every collaboration I've participated in, is you get a wide variety of maps. A wide variety of ideas, and you could pretty much do anything as long as it fit within the space constraints. There's our CD. Of course, can't break through this, so we will have to come back to that. But that's really the only tip as to there's more going on in this level than you see at first. Although, if I remember right, I think you can just leave if you wanted now. Can we? Yeah, so we can just leave, but we've got to go get the CD, of course. And this is sort of, another maybe obtuse, old school gaming trick, right? It's back here somewhere. You can actually hear the sort of the Zen wind in that area. The vent was here, right? So you just have to use those two pictures, right? It's not very obvious. And the only clue that there's something there
You're not supposed to be here.
Is that you saw it from the
Forget
vent.
about all this.
And that's it. Make our way out now. Yeah, actually, those I played with the romance novel title generator for a few minutes when I generated this title. Pretty interesting results. Trial by Fire. So the third and final map by Cywarvet Vet in this pack. This is another one along the lines of Memories, a little bit, that we played by Zik Shadow, I don't know, an hour ago, roughly. And even though it looks like you can get through here, you can't. It's blocked off physically. It's clipped off at the moment. So you do have to go in the apartment here. So this, out of all the maps, probably required the most fiddling with the entities. It was not at all obvious and straightforward. Not that you need to pave the way for the player with the yellow brick road, but you need some kind of guidance and some breadcrumbs at least to get started. And, you know, so we've added little things like the sprite here on the note. And later on, so there ultimately, not to spoil anything, but there's a bunch of notes you've got to collect in this map, in this apartment. And you maybe not quite totally put together what happened, but, you know, they're worth reading. But you do have to get the first one to... And I always love the way this text cuts off. It's supposed to be devil. I've seen the face of the devil, but it just ends at dev, which always makes me think of game dev. So so I don't know if this is supposed to be suicide or devil tore him apart. I think devil tore him apart. So now you've got to go around note collecting and reading the notes. You don't have to read them, but there's one up here. We added these sprites because they were, some of them are fairly subtle and hard to find. So John is acting weirder every day. Oh, there's our CD, by the way. Somehow in the oven, but we have no way of opening it at the moment. So we will continue on down the hall. The voices, they never stop. He wants out. So, seeming like some kind of possession or something, right? Oh, the cross is already upside down. That must be when you get the devil note. I think normally when I come in here, it's first, so that cross is right side up, and then only later on does it flip upside down. So this is what I mean by fairly subtle, right? This is kind of without the sprite. I mean, if you take that little flashing sprite away, that may just look like another book. So I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a very subtle heartbeat in my left speaker. That's really the only ambient sound is that heartbeat. And it's really subtle, so it may not even be coming through for you guys. Let's go get the CD. And one of the complaints I had about this map is that even though you've got just wood boards here, you can't shoot these. I mean, you can, but it doesn't do anything. You can't break them down. So you just have to kind of move on. And if you run out of bullets and you don't get the CD, then you're stuck, or you're stuck as much as getting the CD is concerned. So this is a fairly dark story kind of being told by our notes here. This is maybe the most deviously hidden note of them all. Oh, shit. They all use the same text channel, so that faded out instantly, unfortunately. I think that's all the notes, though, isn't it? Oh, man, I don't even remember. I thought, yeah, this seems like all of them. Time to clean this place. So that's a little unclear, but what they mean is clear with fire. So you've got to pick up a gas can, pick up matches, and then you want to set this aflame. which you don't even have to do. You just come back here and you're kind of trapped in. I can't move past these like 2 clip brushes here at the moment. Fire will take care of the rest. All right. So, depending on how you interpret it, that's a pretty dark story, I think. Floor 2, Hard Inferno by Zuni.
Ah, it's good to see you.
I don't think you can even go through these doors here. So I think the only way to progress is really either barge through this door, which I'm not going to do, or take the very obvious alternate path here up the stairs. This originally had a very, very obvious place for the CD. Zuni developed Brutal Half-Life? Oh, I didn't realize that. It was actually down a floor right next to that scientist that we first found. So I actually, we decided to move the CD to a little more difficult to find place, and that's up here. Right above where it used to be. It used to be, you know, in this spot, but just down on the ground floor. Lots of crabs. But there's a lot of goodies up here, actually, if you explore. See? Grenades. And it's really the only way to get to the armory, which I found was an interesting choice. So you can hear the grunts below you, of course, and you can actually see them, I think, through here if you kind of peek through the right angle. Certainly the hole up there. But what we'll do is go through this area here instead. And you fall down into this incredible armory of contact grenades. Health kit. Health charger, sorry. Even more grenades than we can carry, look at that. And then we can just spam our way through this. Ooh, somebody survived, hey. Oh, that's right, I think more grunts show up once the door opens. Yeah. And this wasn't really part of the rules. You weren't really allowed to do this, but in the end it worked out. I mean, in as much as, right, the player is constrained to the standard 1024 area, but the whole helicopter outside. This guy won't die. You can actually shoot down the chopper with these grenades if you want to, but I just found it was a little much for this level. But yeah, we've got the CD, we can split now. And actually the Apache crashes when you leave, so. And this is my map. My first map. Not my first ever map. My first map in the tower. And the reason I put credits up front like that is because I used some custom artwork in this. Commissioned artwork, too, that I paid the artist for. And I wanted them to get due credit for what they made for me, which we'll see in a minute here. TFC backpack, of course. The title, Repechage, actually means second chance. Oh, and I added this as well. So Strider made the ground level, which is the final map of the tower. I wanted the player to get a sense that they really were approaching the ground. This is floor 1, right? So they just have the ground floor to go. So I grabbed some of his map architecture and added it a floor below mine to actually make the player hopefully notice that they're almost near the end here. The word repechage means second chance, as I was saying. You may know that or recognize it from like Olympic trials, especially like in rowing and things like that, where the repechage is kind of the loser's bracket. It's if you lose your first race, you can often race in the repechage, which is kind of like the second chance. So and then if you win that, you can get back in the sort of the competition. And in that respect, I chose that name because this map was submitted way late. Like I was still working on it in April, and I think the maps were due in like January or February. Now, of course, I didn't actually hold up the release because Strider had a lot of work to do and had things going on in real life. So it didn't end up getting released until much later in the year in 2020. But I was happy that I was still able to complete the map and polish it the way I wanted and be part of the tower. So I chose that name. Yeah. Anyway. This is one of the custom pieces. This is by Niker 107, Source Mapper, who posed this out, and I think it's in Source Filmmaker, and I did some stylization in Photoshop, meant to mimic Joseph Ducrot's self-portraits, if you've ever seen those. And from a long time ago, he was painting in I'm going to say the 16 or 1700s, but I don't know for sure. But his self-portraits are hilarious. So anyway, this is another piece. I actually saw this piece in person 3 years ago in Italy. It's in the name of the city isn't even coming to me, but it's in the Uffizi Gallery there in Florence. Sorry, it's actually painted on a shield, so it's a big like metal shield that Caravaggio painted this on. So if you didn't notice, so the main point of this level, or the main thought of this level, was I kind of wanted to somewhat mimic Strider's map from the first tower, in which you kind of had to hack your way past doors and things like and cameras and things like that. So that was the original impetus for this level. I wanted to do it a little differently. I didn't want to just kind of hack your way past cameras. But I had the player with that large backpack in the lobby there pick up these SOBs, which you can then use to kind of hack your way past these keypads. So intentionally put a health charger here, even though you wouldn't need it coming in from the last level. You'd certainly be at 100%. This was a little bit of foreshadowing to let the player know they may need health later on. So there's a lot in this level before anything really happens in terms of like damaging you, but yeah. These paintings are all, the idea is that they're protected by like laser shields, so you can't take them, you can't do anything with them yet. And you may recognize some of these paintings. These are all, sort of classic art. This is by Beksinski, who doesn't name any of his artwork. Everything's untitled. Not necessarily one of my favorites, but one of my favorites by him. These others are all personal favorites. Not that I'm a big art person, but I've appreciated some over the years. One of my favorite Dolly paintings right there. I love the symmetry between the two shapes. Anyway, so you've got 4 of these 452. Yeah. Close. You've got 4 of these SOBs. These are, security boxes that let you hack past these. The idea being that this map was wide open, right? I let the player do what they wanted. They could eventually steal all the art. They could break most of the art if they wanted to. Or you could just completely ignore it or not even know about it and just make your way through the map itself. I didn't want to require the player to steal things or anything like that. So it's all pretty straightforward until you get to that last... You see that last keypad up there. I'm supposed to take a quick look at these paintings. Another Dolly one. And then 3 similar paintings here. This one is unique. It's by that's by Giger, actually. H.R. Giger, who did the design for the alien in the movie. These 2 are not. They're by the original artist. He did different versions of that. Isle of the Dead is the name. One of my favorite pieces. And then this I pictured as the main gallery where we kind of each... This is where the custom paintings come in. These have unique rooms because I wanted to kind of showcase them a little bit. So this is by Marina Mency, who made that painting for me. Found her on Reddit, of all things, and she did a great job. I love that. That's Gordon, Old and Broken. This one's by Hannah Carter. You might know her. Vordel on Twitter. That's Gina with a different leg piece. And maybe my favorite. This is by an artist not far away from me here, actually in Maryland, named Joanna Barnum. And this is an actual physical watercolor that I have. It's not very big. It's 9 by 12 or so inches. But this is directly based on the painting of the Outsider in Dishonored, one of the Sokolov paintings. Intentionally obscured face, outstretched palms, but I wanted it to be G-Man. So these main paintings are mostly an homage. Actually, a lot of these, in as much as the ability to steal them, is sort of inspired by Dishonored, let's say, which is one of my favorite games. So the problem here is, of course, you're only given 4 boxes, and you've got to use at least a 5th one to get out, right? So my hope was that would lead the player kind of back and exploring. I didn't want to tell the player outright what to do, or that you could reuse the boxes, but it's you can find that out simply by trying it. Actually, we're going to have to take one of these. Now let's take this one. And then eventually would lead the player, if they couldn't figure out how to get forward, lead the player back to here. And this bit under the stairs is missed by probably 3/4 of the players that I've seen stream this map or play it. No, it's certainly not obvious, but it's not hidden either, in my opinion. But you may not see it simply walking down the stairs and sort of having your attention attracted by the lasers and the artwork. But there's a crowbar, which helps. But I also lit this up, which I didn't do for any of these others, if you notice. Well, this, of course, has a spotlight on it. So did we actually grab one? Yeah. So I wanted the player to figure this out organically by just trying it. And then that, of course, lets you take these paintings. Or, and I'll do this, I'll save now and come back to the save game. You can bust them up if you want. And the fun thing about that is it tells you the value of the stuff that you busted up, which is totally made up. Like I totally made up all those valuations, but we're going to go for stealing 100% of the paintings. So I will go back and load that game. This effect is done by making the painting a funk door, non-solid, and having it fade to invisibility as it moves. It's a little hard to see. Let's try to see if we can get one. You see how it's kind of moving out as the ripping sound is playing. That again is based on Dishonored. When you take one of the Sokolov paintings in Dishonored, you hear the ripping sound as if you were ripping it out of its frame, and you hear the coin sound telling you its value. So that was directly mimicking that. What you then need to do is, of course, grab this. You can't leave that behind because you need it to get through, to get forward. And one of the fair complaints about this map is that they say, hey, once you know the 4-digit code, why do you need the box anymore? And yeah, you got me. It didn't occur to me that once you knew the code, you could You could just punch it in, yeah. I just wanted these to be kind of cool hacking boxes. I found the display of the digits was just a fun thing to add. That let me use the 0451 eventually and things like that, to make it a little chunky. So these digits and some of these textures and the sounds are taken from Half-Life Caged, by Kaylee George, with permission, so that he gets, you know, fair credit on a lot of this stuff too. So, but my hope would be then, once you discovered that this exists and that you could steal the paintings in this room, that you would figure out you can actually do it for each of these 3 rooms. This one is deviously hidden by, like, intentionally. What I didn't count on was that players thought that they needed to steal these paintings to progress, and that's not the case. So a lot of players drove themselves crazy in this room looking for the hidden switch. It's here, it's deviously hidden, it's an old school game kind of, you know, thing, but well, I might as well show you where it is now. So, you know, a lot of people tried jumping up here, whatever, you know. It's actually the one brick that's very slightly out of place. It's evil. I'll tell you that. I admit it. But I did put... I should have looked at that before. So from here, you could see the battery down there. So that gave you an indication of where it was. It was just a matter of getting to it. So we need to take the SOB, and we can put it back here. And that lets us steal these guys. That was Guernica, of course. Huge. I tried to make this the true size that the painting is. I had no idea it was this big. My parents used to have a poster of this when I was younger. And it was, you know, like wall poster size. It was about 3 feet long and maybe 2 feet high. I had no idea the real one was that big, but it is. Yeah, the Picasso one is the hardest to get. And yeah, so this, yeah, hang on, I'll come back. I see the Tau cannon. I'll come back to it. The reason is, if you notice, well, it's hard to see now, but one of these laser generators was protecting that one, and that one, and the other one was singly protecting that. And we'll see this in the next room real quick. Let me grab this. Yeah, oh, so you can see it now. This single laser is protecting that. These 3 lasers protect this. These other 3. Later on in the map, you disable these set of 3 lasers, but that never gets disabled. So unless you do it now before you kind of turn the corner and get further into the map, there's no way to steal that one. It remains protected by the laser the whole time. Again, intentionally. I didn't want... Yeah, I wanted it to be challenging. I wanted this map to be replayable. And this one is... That leads you to believe there's a hidden switch in this corner, or in this room. Sure enough, it's in the corner. Let's swipe these guys. So this is the original, I think. 5th version, sorry, by Brooklyn. 3rd version by Brooklyn. And a painting based on those by Giger. Need that back. And then now that we have the crowbar, so the player before that, even if they weren't stealing the art, was kind of stuck, right? They didn't have this box to go forward because you need another one to place here, and you've already placed all 4. So I wanted the player to sort of organically figure out that they needed to backtrack here, and that this allows them to take this box, move to the front, and use that supposedly to reach the exit. So anyway, these are the other thing I want to point out is these are like double protected. Not only is there unbreakable glass here, but you can sort of, I wanted the semblance of like a force field protecting these for later, which we'll get back to. And yes, I wanted that to be a ridiculous blockage of the exit in your face, which is why it's kind of hyperbole with all those lasers, but yeah. And now this I wanted to be a little bit of a behind-the-scenes feel. You know, you're out of the gallery now. You're back in the workshop sort of area. Smattering of Half-Life tools from various games to kind of entice you. Oh, and a little homage to Caged down there as well. Oh, and a roach. The executive plunger. This I intentionally placed a little close to where the player needs to walk through here to get into the closet, or the sort of the storage area back here. Right now, you can't do anything here. These doors are both, you know, locked. They will never open, to be honest. And you can get this to buzz by using it. So I wanted it to catch the player's attention. But the real point of this room is to be a transition, and the way forward is up here and through the vent up there. And the one thing I regret is not making that more obvious. And I already, after the first couple playtests, I already took several steps to make this more obvious. The red light shining through there is added. The glowing battery is added. The problem here is that you can grab that battery without even jumping. My intent was the player would have to do this and then jump up to the shelf and get the battery. The problem is you can get the battery by just doing this and leaving. And I've seen a number of streamers do that, and it frustrates me because if you don't find this, you can't progress in the map. It turns out I didn't go far enough in terms of making this obvious. What I need to do is leave the battery with the light here, block this with a crate or something like that so the player can't get in here and must do this. That would make this 100 times more obvious and would, I think, alleviate a lot of frustration of playing my map. So I sincerely apologize for not doing that. Oh yeah, we'll get to Dopefish. It's in there. So this is the control room. This is intentionally a hidden window. You go out to the gallery, you will not see this. This is a wall here. This is also intentionally only accessible by event. And I even threw a map in just to help if people were really paying attention to the layout of this map. This is faithful. We're in the control room. The abnormal error doors are the ones where we have the boxes disabling the lasers on. Sorry, this one's normal. This one right below us here, right, because we took the box away. I'm not sure anybody paid attention to this, but this is at least faithful in that all the abnormal marked ones are where we have the boxes. And my favorite, you know, never press this button, which you have to do, of course, to proceed.
Warning, unidentified bioweapon detected.
Another bit of foreshadowing. And then, yeah, this is just kind of showing that only these 4 are now unlocked. Now, I don't expect any players to notice this. But the reason that the entrance and exit lasers are differently colored is that they don't turn off with this switch. Again, I'm not sure I got that across, but it wasn't that important to me to get across. If that makes sense. So, as much as I like to not lead the player around by the nose, the second half of this map kind of required me to lay out exactly what needed to happen, right? So now you're trapped in here. The laser's blocking the exit. One of the original thoughts in this map, before I even created the map, was I want the player to have to make their own exit from the floor, not to be using a door. So I wanted them to have to blast through the door somehow. Or not blast through the door, blast through the wall somehow. And came up with a pretty, you know, maybe intricate plan to do that. But hopefully it makes sense. And you'll see the first, this is kind of an in-order checklist that you have to go down. You do have to find the Tau cannon, which we already saw, so we know where that is. Which you probably don't expect now is what's coming from the ceiling. And it's with glee that I find that mappers are horrified by these, or players are horrified by these giant snarks. They're no more harmful than normal snarks, but they are pretty scary. So, right, so we've got the Tau cannon. We can now build this GTFO unit, and if you'll notice, we'll build it out of this. Again, the player doesn't need to know that. All they need to do is kind of use this. They're going to use the Tau cannon for it too. And this is a little bit of a Rube Goldberg kind of device, right? Maybe partially inspired by research and development, if you've ever played that mod for Half-Life 2. Where you kind of have to collect the parts to make that wacky vehicle near the end. I kind of like that, the jankiness of it. So the idea is you use this and you use the Tau cannon to create this little, this thing that you've got to place, which I made fairly obvious, I think, with this. At least it's at ground level, right? Ah, Jesus. So you try to use this, it does tell you, you can't use it yet. You need to bring 3 SOBs to upgrade. And this is one thing I also wish I made a little more clear. Is you have to bring 3 of those boxes back here to be able to do the next step. But we're okay because the lasers are now locked off, if that makes sense. See, these guys goes down with a single bullet. They're not that bad. They're also limited. Yes, so this is my handwriting on a real whiteboard that I took photos of. I had to take extra care to be really neat, and even that it's semi-readable, right? So now we've got the 3 SOB boxes. We're going to upgrade them to MF SOBs. Which are a little like the boxes that we were just using on the doors, except now that they can divert lasers here. So this is an overall map again. And it wasn't... I didn't draw this with the expectation that the player would really know exactly where they are and exactly where they needed to go. What I wanted to get was the idea that these lasers would be going through walls to get to the get to the exit. And maybe I should have expanded here when I say divert gallery lasers. Maybe add a little more explanation to it. But again, this is a case of it's difficult to get players to look up. And I found that out again from playtesting, which I tried to alleviate with flashing green boxes showing where these should be placed. But I still find people struggle with it. But with the combination of... Let me grab this health kit. Saying that these boxes divert lasers. The only lasers in each of these galleries are up top. So you can see this is where the box needs to go for the first one. And if you do that, notice the little MF SOB sticky on there. I'm proud of that. That sucks up the lasers from... That was originally protecting these 3. 1, 2... 3 paintings. This one is still protected by that. So these paintings that are still protected, if you didn't already grab this one, it's too late now. So, and the same for these other galleries. So this is where Guernica would still be protected. And hard and impossible to grab at this point if you hadn't already. I also made the very conscious decision to not have these lasers hurt you. Just because I thought it would be cheap to get killed by a laser once you're this far into the map. So, oh, hey Mortal, how's it going? Welcome. And now this is glowing humming a little bit and ready to be used. And this is a sequence I'm pretty proud of. These are all brushes. None of these are models, but I tried to make it look just like the Gauss cannon. Ah. And that did go back and blow these up. And if you notice those lasers coming out of here, it's a lot going on, so maybe not obvious to see, but those broke the glass here. So these are now somewhat accessible. You can at least get down here. There's still a force field in the way, but if you pay attention... Right, I don't have any SOBs. I blew 3 of them up, and the first one is still at the very entrance. But we can still get these. So now, this is Spirit's particle system, by the way, which I think looks pretty good for a Half-Life map. But I love the idea of having the thing just smoking indefinitely afterward. This is our way out, right? So I said one of the original ideas in this map is to have the player blow themselves at their own exit. So here we go. This is just a little closet. This does actually connect right to the door that I said was locked before in the workshop. The glowing edges are just sprites that I made exactly the right dimension for the cutouts. Probably should have made those fade out a little bit, but I like the idea of just keeping them lit. It gives it kind of a cool effect when you look at it from down there. So there's our exit. But we don't want to leave just yet. If we jump down at all, there's no way to get back out, right? Because our lasers are here. This wall prevents us from going back. And the only way forward is the exit. So you just have to jump up here. And now we can get other stuff that we couldn't before. Right? We can take this SOB. Can break this and get the shield here. And so at the very end of this map, excuse me, I calculate and display a percentage of the paintings that you stole successfully. The ones that are broken, I don't count, although I do put a note about being destructive as you leave. Now to get them all, I mean, there's every painting in this map you can steal. So... And maybe it's subtle, but that mark shows that this wall is breakable. So this is one that not a lot of people find. Yep, the old dope fish. I had to put it in. I told you I was an old school gamer. And now this laser is set, so we obviously can't get back into the gallery this way, but we can this way. Now that we have a single SOB, we can continue to kind of get these. By Hannah Carter. Thank you very much. Go get G-Man next. Oh, and I didn't point this out before, but that CD's been sitting there the whole time. Right? So, even though the CD is easy to see, it's pretty difficult to get to. Like, you have to go this far in the map and avoid leaving. When we climbed up, we climbed up onto the railing or whatever over there. If you left the map at this point, right, you wouldn't have the CD. So now you can get it, though. But I wanted to make that 0451 finally. I want to make this fairly obvious. In other words, easy to see, hard to get. And we'll go get the Gordon painting too. And the other key thing in this is the grenades, which we actually need later on if we want to 100% this. Take the Gordon painting. Take the SOB. You can leave the SOB, but it actually pays off later. Not in the map, but in the tower. So I also wanted it to be hard to get 100% on this map. I agree with that. I mean, that was kind of an intention going in. Is I wanted replayability. I wanted it to be a good challenge for people to get 100% of the paintings on this map. So these are fairly deviously hidden as well. Maybe not hidden so much, but so you've got the fan pushing against you here. You can't make it in there, but you do have grenades now. So let's see if we can. That still got me. Jeez, that wasn't enough. I don't even think we got the fan, did we? Nope. That one got it. Yeah, fan stopped. Now we can go down to the secret area. And this one was actually painted by the same one that did the G-Man painting for me, Joanna Barnum, but she did this about 8 years ago for me. It's a marker drawing, and again, it's a physical drawing. It's about 8 by 10. Stylized head crab on Zen. And then a free t-shirt. I crowbar head crabs. It's my old Twitter avatar from 8 or 9 years ago. Then you get the 100% notice and music. Didn't have the music in there originally. Oh. Another texture from Caged. I think it was Mr. Floyd that really encouraged me to add music when you got 100%. So you felt like it was a real reward. And that is Repechage. Now you can leave. 100% of the art in the gallery. Proud of that map. It was a ton of entity work. There's no question about it. Keeping track of those SOBs and when they were all used up or not used. Hey, a roach followed me out. Cool. And then now we're at the ground floor. All foyered up by Strider with others. So Strider got this to probably, 90, 95% complete. And Penguin Boy and I touched up the rest and finished it. Oh, another cheap head crab on the table. There's our CD here. I'm pretty sure that's all of the CDs. I hope I didn't miss one. I mean, it's not the end of the world if I missed one, but I really did want to do 100% of this. More of his custom textures. Oh, and I really like the look of the TV here. That is a model with chrome on it, so it looks like it's reflective. Nifty effect for Gold Source, right? I'm going to steal that. Yeah, I actually don't think I don't think the whole thing is a model. Maybe it is. I know at least the screen is a model. I'm not sure about probably the frame too, no? All right. We're into the home stretch here. The last few bits of TWHL Tower 2. We're on the ground floor. And a tidbit I will share here that is so subtle I don't expect anybody to have ever found it. But you can kind of hear it. And, oh, you can almost see him there. There's a head crab in the vent right there. Do you see him? Right above where my crosshair is. You can see his legs there. That's a certain evil genius head crab. You can't get to him. You can't do anything with him. He's just there. He's not forgotten. Unfortunately, we didn't make this more obvious. So that's the exit, right? You can kind of tell that's outside. This is the final area. Some people miss this, which is unfortunate. Really unfortunate, right? It's the Egon. So, yeah, anyway. So I'm kind of proud of these little sticky notes. It just kind of highlights that Barney or somebody is screwing around and causing the whole lockdown. Maybe.
Security lockout disengaged.
Oh, and before we trigger anything, I'm also proud of this texture. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? It's just listing all the maps and the mappers that made them. But I think it came out pretty well. So, thank you to everybody who participated. There's one more map yet to go, and we're not done with this one either. But that was a good turnout. 25 maps total, right? Including the bonus map in a few minutes. And I'll try to get a view of the billboard that's outside. Oh, I love this water. Strider, man. His textures and yeah, they go a long way toward really making this a gorgeous map. You can get up to the door and almost go out, but it'll shut in your face. And you can just see the core billboard out there waiting for you. Coming soon. Probably. So yeah, I wanted that to be kind of a shocking thing when it happened. Oh, of course the turret's totally screwed up. I love it. Oh, hi. Well, you seem buggy. It's not so bad if you save the Egon ammo for him.
Well, I guess you didn't do a half bad job. I mean, I'd almost consider myself impressed. Anyway, let's get out of here, shall we? You know, the big guy's going to want an explanation for all of this. Are you good with paperwork?
Took his special elevator, huh? You'd think they'd just install a fire escape at some point. Alright, we did get 100%.
I got your back.
There's your bonus for 100%. Is you get a buddy in the final arena map. Adding Otis was actually pretty easy. Spirit makes it easy to give Barney a 45, Magnum, and easy to customize the model. So I just took the Otis sounds, sentences, and model, things like that from Opposing Force, copy them to the Spirit directory, and then set this as a Monster Barney with extra health to use those assets. So it's Otis. This is why there's Otis in the because who doesn't love Otis? This is your okay. So I should have started. If you got 50% of the CDs, if you got half the CDs across the floors, you'd be able to play the bonus map. If you didn't, it would jump right to the credits of the map for the tower. If you could find half of them, you get to play the bonus map. Obviously, if you get 100%, you get Otis as a buddy. If you find 80%, you get diverted into this little room here, and you get a couple goodies to help you out. RPG and rockets, and the jump module. And I threw this in, since I made this, so this is my second map. I made the bonus map for this. Based on the sort of extra Tower 1 map that I told you about a while back. It wasn't part of TWHL Tower, but it was released separate standalone. But it was followed the rules of Tower 1, called Cenodrome. It was an arena-based map. This is a sequel, but it's got a different twist on it. But since I made this map, I wanted to throw in a little bonus. If you kept that last SOB from my map 2 maps ago, $847, yep. Stolen Snark model from Strider. You get some bonus weapons to play with. It's not much. I wanted to add this window as a little bit of a preview just to kind of heighten your expectations. All right, you know this corner room exists. You can't get to it yet, but you will later. Cenodrome XL. The other sub-basement. So in Cenodrome, there's Otis for us. A big part of Cenodrome was, it was sort of not doing the fighting yourself. A lot of it was Team A versus Team B, and you chose a team, and the other team was you chose, and then they fought in an arena, and whoever won got the point for that round. But a big part of it was the Half-Life Vox, the announcer, taunting you and making fun of you the whole time. So I kind of brought that to this map as well. Otis is scripted to say things like that at certain points, just to remind you that he's there. And I love the Otis voice lines are fantastic, so I used a lot of them. So the idea here is random enemy, but you get to choose which weapons you use to fight them. So this is a truly random system. Each one has an equal chance of being selected. It's done with a randomly fired environment beam hitting buttons and lighting up these highlights, these frames, and then the final one that it settles on will be the one that you fight. Notice I took Zik's enemy from their map, the weird zombie with the crowbar arms. The rest of these are standard Half-Life. Okay, bull squids. No, I did not have to edit anything for Otis. I just wholesale copied his sounds, the model, his entries in sentences.txt to get him to say things through scripted sentences. We will pick a crowbar for this. Actually, a crowbar, crossbow. Do we want the magnum instead? Magnum. And then you can set Barney to use this model. You can set him to have the magnum like I'm holding here. And then you can set his voice lines to use a custom sentence group. That's all you had to do. No editing of this Yeah, well, I specifically didn't use lines that called you soldier or marine or whatever. That's why he's scripted. He doesn't say things randomly, I think, for the most part. So the idea is you get set up in the booth and then you head out to the arena to do battle. And Otis does help quite a bit. Whoa. You're not shooting me, are you? He does get to some points where he shoots you, so. If you accidentally damage him, so. So it's subtle, but the floor is actually moving out from underneath this booth.
See, now I've always wanted to say that.
That glass effect is actually done with a big block that fills the whole booth here. That is simply set to fade over time with environment fade, from solid to invisible. It's not the actual glass. It's just a big block that looks like it's the glass fading in from opaque to clear. So I totally could have done this map without the booths dropping down and into oblivion and everything, but I thought it was a pretty fun effect to leave in there. So next round, same thing, same set of enemies. Oh, bull squids again. Well, we'll stay with the Magnum, I think.
Round 2. Fight.
I can't forget we've got the we've got some extra weapons.
Nice going.
Believe it or not, I was a wuss in high school. I know it's hard to believe.
Excuse me. Round three is unique. It's a mini boss battle, so this is actually not random when I go in there. The one thing I wanted to point out is I found a lot of people, and I do too, cheese behind this wall, right? For a while, I really wanted to have this sink into the floor after about 5 seconds for each round, but I ended up leaving it because if people want to cheese this, it's fine. It wasn't meant to be a terrible challenge. It was meant to be a fun end to the pack. That's it. Like this. You can't take this map totally seriously, right? You're not fighting cockroaches. So there's our custom guard model that we're going to be fighting. These guys pack a punch. They carry a Magnum too. So they are no joke. On hard, I think you get 4 of them. I don't remember if we get 2 or 3 on medium. So we will switch to the crossbow for this. No, Barney was never up there. But if you just load this map and play it, you don't get the bonuses, right? You don't get the RPG or the long jump module, and you don't get Otis. So if you just come in and you got half the CDs or more than half, you still play through the map. You just don't. There's nothing up here. This is just empty, and then you walk straight through that original hallway, so you don't get to pick up the RPG and the rockets and the long jump module. So it's all still doable, certainly. You just get a couple of fun extra bonuses if you put in the work to get all the CDs. So. Just 2, yeah, but they are deadly.
Super cool.
They get the jump on you. Oh, and you can't see it. Can you see this guy? Yeah. He's got a TWHL body armor on, which you probably never noticed, but I thought it was a fun customization I made. Now round 4, there's only 6 rounds total, right? So, the original Synodrome had 8. Yeah, it's subtle. You wouldn't see it unless you're really looking for it, but yeah. And I should probably give them the chance to actually run around. They run slow, but they do carry the Magnum, or the equivalent of the Magnum, so they can really take you down in about 2 shots. Now, round 4 and 5 become more serious. There's our enemy from Spike Hunter's map. All right, the Robo Grunt. These guys become a lot more of a challenge, but you get better weapons too. Grunts. Okay. Actually, we're gonna have fun with this one. We're gonna do explosives. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Oh, we're gonna die. That's alright. I got stuck on my own floor. Alright, here we go. Grunt still. Okay.
Round 4. Yes.
So if you're not careful with the satchels, you hurt Otis, and he will shoot you. This is clipped off, by the way. You can't jump in here. So
do you guys train for alien combat, or is this just a special occasion?
And I wanted to make plenty sure there was enough health available to survive all these rounds. So.
See health authorized.
These booths are also done with spirit. Everything moves with this booth, which is a train, including the HEV charger. Actually, not everything. I think these frames actually just become invisible and stay where they are. But anyway, everything else moves. Oh, thank God. They are the worst. This is truly random, but when those are picked, it's a real battle. So Barney's no joke either, because if I remember right, at least one of these guys is the TWHL Barney, the guys we just beat a couple rounds ago. So this being round 5, which is really the last real round. Round 6 is a series of challenges. This is going to be difficult, actually. Oh boy. And I wanted to make this a realistic selection. I didn't want to make obvious that everyone would choose the Gauss or the contact grenades, because I think you only get 4. Yeah, you only get 4 contact grenades, and everything else is stripped, so we don't have the satchels anymore. Oh, we do have an RPG though. Yeah, we'll go with this. I think. See how this one goes.
Round 5.
My own snarks are gonna get me. Oh God, they did. Oh, it's too much fun. All right. See, that's the key. You gotta have fun playing your own maps, right? Let's do this instead.
Round 5. Round 5.
Ooh. Otis taking a beating, but still living. I think he's got 200 health, if I remember right.
It can get pretty ornery when I'm angry.
This one I clearly wanted to stand out from the rest. This is the last round. And I wanted to take the player a little bit off guard. Just little jokes. You're welcome to go out in the arena without a weapon if you really want to. Good luck if you do.
Round 6. Round Alpha.
It's done with a randomly firing environment beam. Firing at different buttons. So that not only lights up the frames, but actually chooses the selection too. Ooh, Otis kicking ass. Some goodies in here. Oh, Otis is pissed. Shit. I got Otis on that. Damn it. Alright.
Round 6.
Wait, round 6? Why don't I have the...
Bravo.
This isn't right. I found a bug in my own map. Right? I was saved here, but I didn't have the Egon.
Round 5.
Weird.
Round 5.
1 out of 10. Piece of junk.
When I'm angry.
Yeah, I don't know. Something did save weird there, or did I skip going through that, maybe? Maybe I went through without actually selecting the Egon. Which it's totally legitimate, you can do, but I didn't want to do that. Right, you can... I think you can pass here without... No, you can't. You have to select that. I don't think the door opens otherwise, does it? Yeah. Huh. Something didn't save properly there. I don't know why. Weird. We're going forward with the Egon, though. Yeah, but I shouldn't have had any... I shouldn't have been able to let me through the door, then. Who knows? This map is a mess of logic. As are most of my maps, but... Shit, Otis is shooting me again. Sorry, Otis. I actually never wanted this final round to be too much of a challenge, which is why you get all this ammo and health constantly. I wanted it to be a total mess of jibs. This is also why it has a lightly colored floor.
Round 6.
Was I wanted a total mess of explosions, blood, etc. all over the floor. I don't need this. I know I don't need this. So we're just going to press on. This just an upscaled weapon canister. I had fun with that too. This is the only other one that's not random. Obviously you don't get to fight an Apache or the G-Man. You get the final boss of TWHL Tower 2. And this literally gives you every weapon in Half-Life. But you don't need it. I think this is your fire sprite, right, Adam? I like the look of it, so I stole it. The final boss.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a decal or something, that weird graphics glitch. I've seen it happen in other maps too. That was Synodrome XL, wrapping up TWHL Tower 2. I could go a lot more in depth in that last map as to what was happening, but the idea was I teleported in the enemies randomly based on the outcome of the button sequence. So thank you for watching. This has been a fun map to play, a fun mod to play. I haven't played this since we released it a year and a month ago. It's definitely going in the Run, Think, Shoot, Live Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's, from an objective standpoint, it's hard to say, but it's had such a great reception by players. I think it's no question that it stands among, you know, some of the top Half-Life mods released over the years. So thank you all for watching. This has been a lot of fun for me, and I can't wait to get this up on YouTube. And we'll see what fate holds for the next month. I don't think I'm going to run a vote next month. I think it'll be something I choose. But, yeah. Thanks for coming on this journey with me, and I'll see you next month. Have a great holiday season, and take care.